written to help people to get along in love. But with the book, I like the top of the points that they use for it, and what we're going to use today is scripture references that help us to be able to understand our love language. How many of you excited to get to know what your love language is, amen? And how other people speak that love language. So in the 40 Days of Love, we're trying to challenge you to learn the proper alignment of your love language. So the first point I want to talk about today, and if you will turn in your Bibles, if you'll open your Bibles up and turn to Matthew chapter 5. Matthew chapter 5 is where we're going to start at. And we're going to get the message on the screen for you here. So if you have your Bible, you can look in your Bible. If you don't, you can just bring your attention to the screen and we will have the message up there. So the title of the message is The Interpretation of the 5 Love Languages. So I'm going to give you 5 love languages and I'm going to give you the interpretation of that love language. Now, don't be surprised if on 1 or 2 of these love languages, you might identify and say like, hey, that's the way I love. That's the way that someone has tried to love me. Oh, I realize now that what they were trying to do was to actually show me love. So I want to show you this, and I want us to go through these. And as we do, hopefully you'll learn something about love, and you'll be able to be a better lover of the people that love you. Because like I said, we got the parenting relationship that's not romantic. How many of you have friends that you love? Amen? Amen. I love my friends. I look at it like this, that I have people that are acquaintances, and I actually love those acquaintances. So I want to say this, that in every relationship you have, you can learn from this sermon on how to communicate properly or communicate your love language properly, and to be able to understand other people's actions to where you can see that what they're trying to give you is love, all right? So the first love language I want to talk about is the love language of quality time. Before I even get into the love language of quality time, how many of you would say that you're quality time people? Raise your hand. All right, a couple of quality time people. So, the love language of quality time is this. I need to express love to you by spending time with you. Now, that love can seem kind of selfish, because this might not be the type of person that when someone wants to express love like this, they might not say, hey, let's get a group of friends and go out and do something. No. When a person wants quality time, they want your undivided attention. Everyone say undivided attention. Right, so undivided attention, when someone wants that undivided attention from you, they're asking for your physical presence to be there. So when someone has the love language of quality time, they want to see you. They want to spend time with you. They want to be in the same room with you. Now in today's vernacular and stuff, now you could spend quality time with someone over the computer, right? You know, a lot of times I see now people FaceTime or people do Skype, and that's how they communicate with one another. And I do think it's more intimate than just talking on the phone, because you can see the person as well. But but say if you're working and someone wants to FaceTime, what do? They decline. Now some people answer the call and they get fired from their job because they don't know how to say no. But see, it's not always good to be able to take that quality time, because sometimes we can't show that quality time all the time. You get my drift? So quality time is a love language, and it's a specific love language of saying like, I feel love when we spend time together. I do not feel love when we are distant, when we are apart. When I don't get to spend time with you, I don't feel connected with you. I don't feel loved by you. Am I right, quality time people? Is this how you feel, right?
Yes.
I feel some type of way when I don't get to spend that time with you. Or here's another thing. Quality time people might have a problem with having to divide time. Now, if I have to split my time with your kids and your job and your this and your that, well, I don't want the relationship. Well, sometimes a person in quality time, they can set those ultimatums with people. Now, if it's a thing to where it's a deal breaker for them, and sometimes people that have this love language, it will be a deal breaker, because they can't get around the fact that just because you're not with them, that you're not loving them. How do you know that it's possible to love someone without spending quality time with them? Possible, You know, because everyone has in their mind what quality time is. So quality time, Matthew chapter 5, verse 41. If anyone forces you to go a mile, go 2 with them. If someone says, hey, well, come and walk with me a mile. Go 2 miles for them, because there's a reason why they wanted you to go the first mile. They're probably a person that wants to be close to you. Now, if you're in love with someone that has quality time as their love language, they're gonna love to have intimate dates with you. Now, if you have a child that has a love language of quality time, how might it play out? Mom, I want to go and I want to be just with you. Dad, I want it to be me and you time. I want you to take me to this place. I want you to spend time with me. I need to talk to you. Now, I used to get nervous when my kids said, I need to talk to you. And as they got older, they said, you know what, I would get nervous too when you say you need to talk to me. Quality time. They might just want you to, you know, sometimes, you know, kids that are very athletic, they might excel in athletics. And a lot of times, kids that are the most athletics and have the most prowess for that, they have the least supportive parents. We've seen this play out oftentimes. I coach youth sports, and some of the best players on my team, a lot of times, they had nobody that would go out and watch them. I had a family, I used to be real close to a family member, young man I raised, I got him involved in football, and I remember, like, he was always the best player on the team. And I remember, like, when the whole stadium would be erupted. My nephew would throw a touchdown, and he would run for a touchdown and stuff, and everybody would be hyped up, everybody would be excited. And his parents would walk up, and they'd be like, what happened? Like, your son just scored a touchdown. Like, oh. That wasn't their thing, that they didn't understand. It wasn't that they didn't love him. They did not understand maybe what he was doing. So they didn't look at like, well, my presence isn't necessary with this. They're just out there playing that kid's game. But to that person that was playing the game, maybe they wanted to just look up in the stands and be able to see mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle. They wanted to see someone who was with them in that situation that was going to take the quality time out of their day and come out and see them. Amen? Amen. Turn to your neighbor and say, come and see me. Come and see me. See, when we, you know, when someone tells you to come and see them, they're probably a person that expresses love through quality time. Turn to your other neighbor and say, let's go do something. Let's go do something. Let's hang out. These are people that want the quality time. They just want to do something with you. I get sometimes, I said this in the last service, you know, my quality time people in the church, they'll say like, hey, Pastor, I need to have an appointment with you, but not one of those hours. I need more of your time. I can't give 2-hour meetings to everybody, but here's the thing. Maybe that person, they need some TLC, and it's going to take more than an hour, right? So time is an element, and a quality time, that's a particular love language. Now, what's the dark side of this? Hey, Miguel, what's the dark side of this love language, right? What's the dark side of it? The dark side of somebody that wants to spend quality time, they can want to spend too much quality time. They can become preoccupied with spending all of their time with you, and then you both look up and say, well, who's got the money? And we done spent all of our time together, hugged up one another, that nobody went to work. Nobody paid the bills. So the quality time people, that can be the dark side of it. They can become very possessive about your time. Anybody had a quality time person? No. Don't be late with a quality time person. Listen, don't start daydreaming with the quality time person. Don't listen. Don't stop listening. If you have a person that expresses love through quality time, what did you say? Oh, I forgot what you said. Oh, they might say it again, but they want you to listen Right, because time is very, very important. It's of the essence. So the quality time, what do we see from Scripture? Jesus said in John 14:16, I will ask the Father, and He will give you another helper to be with you forever, the Spirit of the truth. But you know Him because He lives with you and He will be with you. How many of you know that that's good news? Amen? No matter, see, and that's what I'm saying. It's like the person that wants quality time expressed to them, what is their lesson in life? That God is with you. God is with you. And if God is with you, He is all that you need. Now listen, people can say, well, I need to be around. No, listen. Even we can be in love with someone. We can love to be with someone. But who should we love to be with first? God. Jesus. Amen. God. Amen. Having that connection with Him. See, a lot of times we can get so lost. We can be so caught up in these earthly relationships, and people can say, well, I don't really even believe in God. I just want to be with you. Be careful of that. Be careful of that, because you can want to just be spending time with me, and then if you don't want to spend no time with God, I'm going to want to go to church, and you ain't going to want to go. Well, just lay in the bed with me. No, we got to go to church, because we got to get, we got to take care of the God. It ain't just about laying in the bed together. I will come to church with you. We can hold hands at church. Quality time. Quality time. A lot of times, we say, well, now how is quality time mistaken? Now, anybody dealt with miscommunication? We all have. We've all dealt with miscommunication. And some of the miscommunication when someone has a love language of quality time is pushing up on a person too hard. If the person that has quality time as their particular love language, they're going to want to spend time with you, but you might say like, wow, this is just overwhelming, this is just too much. But it's better to express what you mean to them than to just start canceling appointments. See, I'll tell you, you might have someone that has the quality time, love language, that's loving you. This could be a son, mother, daughter, brother, anyone. It doesn't have to be romantic. But you can have someone, and if you turn them off and they say, hey, well, let's go to lunch. No, I can't. God, I can't do it this week. Okay, how about next week? Can't do it then. All right, so how about Thursday the 22nd? I can't do it then. I've got another appointment. What about the 31st? I think I'll probably be having the flu then. We can't do it. You are going to push that person away, and one day, you're going to look up and they're going to be gone, and you're going to be like, man, I feel so lonely. You push the person that wanted to love you with quality time, you pushed them away. And that's not easy to come by. Look at, when someone wants to love you that way and they want to spend their time with you, see, when we go through all of the love languages, this one really, it kind of requires the most physical, is because it's time. Listen, you can have all the money within the world and not have enough time to spend it all. You have to just give it to other people. You can have a lot of things, but the most precious resource that you have on earth that cannot be replaced is time. Yes, and when someone chooses to love you with their time, don't sleep on that. Don't misalign that. Don't push them aside. Don't make it feel like that they're not important to you that way, because eventually they'll stop loving that way. And now here's the advice to the person that's a quality time person. And this is how you love. Not everybody loves that way. No. Sister, not everybody loves that way. It's not that your son loves you plenty. But right now, he's at a season of his life where he's just not spending as much time with you, but that does not mean that he don't love. All the people who are not quality time people said amen? Amen. Amen. Doesn't mean that they don't love you, so you have to back off of that. Sometimes you have to realize that life is just very busy. And sometimes that you have to make plans for stuff. Some of the quality time people, they can be spontaneous people. Quality time person will pull up on you. Hey, what's going on? You taking a shower, like, who is that ringing the doorbell? Quality time. Hey, I just figured we come and hang out. Well, now it's not a good time. But that's how they're expressing their love. And quality time person, try to set parameters around plans. See, because people, a lot of times, they don't mind spending quality time with you if they can cut that time out and make it to where it's a productive time, right? Some of you know I have a profession, and there's certain hours when that profession is more popular than it's not. So, sometimes it's not that I don't want to spend quality time with a person. It's the fact that I have to take care of my bills right now. So I'm taking care of that at that particular moment. Amen. We got our brother Jesse. He's a truck driver. He goes all over the country bringing different stuff. But could you imagine, Brother Jesse, if somebody wanted to spend quality time with you and you're on the road? Like when I'm on the road, and here his wife is right next to him. No, but he's on the road. And it's like if you're someone like, hey, Jesse, man, why you don't hang out no more? You're like, well, bro, I'm in Oregon right now. I'm in California right now. Oh, man, what kind of friend are you? Forget you, man. Well, that's a person that probably has quality time, but that person with quality time, they must have understanding. Everyone say understanding. So that's the lesson with the person with quality time, is have some understanding. Understand what this person is doing. If you understand what the person is doing, then you will not take it personal if they don't have all of the time to be able to devote to you. Okay, so Hebrews 10:25, not giving up meeting together, some is doing as a habit, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. Don't give up on meeting with one another. Now, this is a lot of times we use this as a church verse. Don't stop coming to church. But here's the thing. Don't forsake the assembling of yourself. Don't give up on meeting with people. If you have a group of people, you meet with them. If you become absent, they might feel like that your love is not aligned the same way. A lot of times, have you ever had someone that's crazy about family gatherings? A lot of times you have people that are crazy about family gatherings. These are people that are quality time people. And they love you, but they will not speak to you for 2 months if they invite you to dinner and you don't come. Now, what kind of messed up way is that? It's not a messed up way. It's just their way of like, man, I was so disappointed that you couldn't come. And what they need to realize is now, by not talking to this person for 2 months, does that really show love? Is that going to make them want to come and answer the dinner date next time? No. So they have to learn understanding. I got to be understanding towards me. Okay, second love language is this. Words of affirmation. Everybody say word. Word. Words of affirmation. Some from the 90s. Some of you knew, Jackson. You used to say word. Words of affirmation. Words of affirmation. What are they? It's encouraging words. You know how you have some people, that they can lift you up in the most darkest moment that you're in. You can have your boy or your girl, your sister call you, and they can say something to you, and you're automatically picked back up. These are people that speak life into you. Amen. These are people that just speak life into you. Come on, well, let's go to the store. Come on, well, let's go over here. Let's get your mind off of that. Let's go get our nails done. Hey, let's go over here. Let's do this. These are the people that have words of encouragement for you. These are the people that tell you that you're much better than what you think you are. Yes. These are the people that say, hey, well, don't let that pull you down. Don't let that drag you down. Hey, bro, you are a strong brother. Don't let this mess you all up and make you feel like you ain't worth it. Right. These are the people that, hey, they got the mouthpiece. A lot of times, now you ever say, what can be a little annoying about these people? Hey, look, they got a double clip Uzi. You think that they stopped talking? They're just like, oh, the phone went up. It was still talking. I have a friend like this. He'd just be talking and talking. I thought he hung up. And he was like, he come back, man, I was talking for 10 minutes, man. I thought you were there. I was still like, bro, you just talk too much. But see, this is the thing. Words of affirmation, people. Right. These are people that, I look at this is probably the most profound gift of all of them. Amen. Someone that can just call you and they can just say, think about this. What about a mom that has words of affirmation? Oh, yeah, your mama will pump you up because she knows how to speak to you. She knows what to say to you. She knows how to motivate you. Some of you have a father like this. You have a brother like this. But how many of you got somebody in your life that's words of affirmation? Raise your hand. Words of affirmation. I know who I can go to. See, a lot of times in recovery, a sponsor can be like this. Hey, well, what's going on in your life? What are you doing? Okay, well, you need to go back to this step because this is where you're struggling at right now. And I think that you could do better if you just focus on this. See, the trainers of the world, These are the people that are like, hey, you know what? If you just, if you do this, this, and this will help you in this type of way. Now, here's the thing, is that with this gift of words of affirmation, Hebrews 3:13. But encourage one another daily as long as it's called today, so that none of you may be hardened by sin's deceitfulness. Words of affirmation, people. They're a light, like almost wherever they go. A lot of times we can see this gift in kids. The kids, Mom, are you okay? Dad, are you all right? Are you okay? Well, I just want, you're the best mom in the world. You're the best dad in the world. I love you so much. See, it's words of affirmation.
Right.
Now, when you have a child that's saying words of affirmation, how do you build that up in them? I love you, son.
Yeah.
I love you so much. And you were such a blessing to me as a child. I love you. And that's how you have to go back at them. Why?
Right.
Listen, if their words of affirmation, if their love language is words of affirmation, and your love language is quality time, that child might grow up all of his childhood not feeling love. Because I love you, Mom. And the mom don't say nothing back. Well, come on, boy, we're going to go up here to the store. And we're going to go shopping with me. I'm going to spend my day off with you. And he's, Mom, your hair is so pretty. Okay, we're going to go and run this errand over here. But Mom, I just love you. Okay, and then, we're going to go over here and do this. And now the kid can say like, all I was her task buddy. But that's how Mom was showing you love back. Because she was quality time. You were words of affirmation. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You see how this can disconnect? And you see how there can be major misunderstandings in love when you have two people speaking two different languages. But encourage one another daily as long as it's called today. People with words of affirmation, you don't need to tell them that. That comes from them naturally. The person that's, it's like some of you ride the bus. And you can have a bus driver that's words of affirmation. He's always saying, hey, good morning. How are you doing? Hey, you have a good day. I'll see you next time. And you see this and you're like, oh, God. He's always saying that. But no, don't down them that way, because that's just their love language. That's how they're showing love to the world. You know that love, the way that we express love, is not just to the people we love. It's in a general sense. This is how we spread love to the world, right? Quality time people, it's not just, they don't just bestow quality time on people that they love. They try and bestow quality time on a lot of people. These are the people that might have the deep, intimate conversations with you, and they just want to take hours and talking to you because it's the way that they love. But now, words of affirmation. Ruth chapter 2, verse 13. Ruth and Boaz, you know them, right? Ruth was the woman who had lost her husband. And she went to this far-off land with Naomi. And she said, well, let's work here. And they were working in this rich man's field. And Ruth noticed something. It was like, he sure is friendly. Boaz was, he was steady keeping her with the compliments. What does it say? Romans 2:13. May I continue to find favor in your eyes, my Lord, she said. You have put me at ease by speaking kindly to your servant, though I don't have the standing of one of your servants. See, she was working in the field, right? And every time she came to work, how you doing? Have a nice day. Well, you sure look nice coming to work today. God bless you. See, words of affirmation. See, this is why, as men, you got to stay loving your wife. Because it's all type of men out here with their words of affirmation. And the minute that you stop saying it, there's somebody down there saying, hey, how you doing? Oh, you sure look nice. You get your hair cut different. Oh, you look good. Oh, yeah. And they'll do that. And see, and men, they think, oh, well, she's married. They know better. Oh. See, these words of affirmation cats, they have a slick way. So, why, stop that. I'm married. Well, married women should get compliments too. You see how they drop that game real quick on you. So men, women, your husbands or wife, this should be a daily thing. You need to be giving them this because this is a subtle way to be able to show love. Subtle. Surreptitious. You don't know what they up to. You know, you might think that man is just being nice. His eye is on you. See, because that's how people show love. That's their love language. They don't always have to be romantic, right? Someone can just be, that's just the way that they show love. But this can turn into something because here's the thing. One of this way of love, this isn't turned down really by anyone. Most, good words, who turns down a compliment? Now, if you hate someone or something, you're like, oh, I don't listen to anything you say. But even if you hate someone, and they can break your walls down with the words of affirmation. I hate you, I love you. I hate you, get out of here. I love the way you get mad. Words of affirmation, they can turn the tables on you. They can flip it on you. So here, what are words of affirmation? What are these people doing? These people are bringing their sense of love into words. Bringing their sense of love into words. It's a beautiful gift. We can see this. Like I said, we see it in the young people. We can see it within adults. We can see where I just told you, where it could be corrupted. You could have somebody being a predator that's just saying the right things, and you're falling in line with this. Now, who would be the first one to fall for words of affirmation? Probably someone with words of affirmation. Because that's how they show love. They show love by giving words of affirmation. And here comes this person is always saying nice things. And that's how that foundation of love can start. Be careful with that. Amen? Always be expressive of your intentions. What is the person with words? What's the dark side to words of affirmation? These people can say stuff that people want to hear. Right? And see, a lot of times when people know how they have the gift to say stuff that people want to hear, they can just be real fake. And I'm saying, I'm not trying to say you're fake, but it can appear that they're very fake to the people that are around them. Because it's like, well, if you say this to me and you say the same thing to that other person, right? So that's where the person's words of affirmation, say, be sincere. Be sincere. Think about what you're saying, words of affirmation. Person, don't just talk all the time. Think about what you're saying. If you have the love of your life, you want to make sure that you're only saying those loving words, those particular loving words to the love of your life. Because if they catch you saying that to someone else, your words will lose all value to them. Sometimes guys, they get kind of hot at the mouth. Women kind of get hot at the mouth. Well, I call everybody baby. I call everybody sugar. I call everybody sweetie. What does your husband think of that? What does your wife think of that? Because if they think, well, I thought that you only called me baby. Now you call these guys down at work baby too? Words of affirmation, person has to be careful of that. Make sure that your words, if you're saying that to that person and it's specifically for them, use that only with them. But if they hear you doing that with everybody, they'll think, this man, he says that to everybody. She says that to everybody. I'm not special. So you have to remember that. Okay, Ruth, so Boaz, he said nice things to her. And when he said nice things to her, that's where she was captivated. So now, next is giving gifts. Everyone say gift giving. These are the people that love Christmas. They love the exchange of the gifts of like, oh yes, I get a gift and I get to give people. And they get turned up by this type of activity, giving stuff, right? Now, I said the dark side to words or to gift giving is this: a gift giver will beg, borrow, and steal if they have to get a gift. You might get a gift from a gift giver if they ain't right. The police might be coming knocking on your door. Hey, did you get? Hey, there's a car that's sitting out in here that might not belong to you. That gift giver that was misaligned, they might went and stole something for you to show you love. But here's the gift giver. the gift giver, they can be, listen, this type of person is the most childlike of the love languages, because they'll go and they'll get you something, and they'll put a lot of thought into gift. You know someone that puts a lot of thought into buying gifts? Anybody know anybody, right? I know, and I look at like two people that are like this in my life. It's my mom and my wife. Both of them like, okay, so I want to buy so-and-so a gift. With me, I'm a gift card type of guy. So then you could do what you want, and you could buy your own gift. I don't want to have to be guessing what you like and keeping receipts and stuff like that. I'm giving you a gift card, then you do what you want with it. But these two, well, hey, I'm going to give this person a gift. What do you know that they like? I don't know what they like. I'm not sure what they like. I've never gotten a gift from them, and they've never given me a gift. I don't know. But these people, they want to know some insight. They want to know some background. So when they do give the gift, that it hits the right spot. And these people, they're great at giving gifts. They know how to give. They know how to, see, these people have a secret ability to be able to look at you and know what you need. They know what you need. See, these people, a lot of times, if someone has the gift-giving love language, you know what if they can cook, they're going to cook for you. I made you some tamales. I made you pie. I made you your favorite cake. I made you some brownies. I made you this. Now, what did they make it with? Love. They made it with love. They made it with you in mind. Isn't that a beautiful thing when you have someone giving you gifts and they gave you something with you in mind? They did it for you. Right. That's why, these people, sometimes can excel at poetry or at, things like that. And they make, well, I was thinking about you and I wrote this and I wanted to give it to you. That's an expression of love. Now, okay. How does God give us gifts? Matthew chapter 7. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open. For everyone who asks receives. The one who seeks finds. And to the one who knocks, the door will be open. Yes, amen. Amen. How many of you believe that? Amen. You got to turn your faith up. Some of you say, well, God don't give me nothing because you ain't asking. You just complaining. You just thinking. You got to ask God because He will give you the gift that you want. We serve a generous God, right? He said, which of you, if you ask your son for bread, would you give him a stone? Ask, be specific with God. Yes. Or ask if he wants a fish and give him a snake. If then, though you are evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much will your Father give good gifts to those who ask for it? Amen? Amen. Matthew 2, verses 10 and 11. When they saw the star, now these are the wise men, they became overjoyed. On coming to the house, they saw the child with his mother Mary. They bowed. Now, who are we talking about? Who is the baby? Jesus. Okay. And they bowed down and worshipped him. They bowed down and they worshipped him. Then they opened their treasures and presented him gifts of gold, incense, and myrrh. Why did they do that? Was it just tradition? Was it just customary? Or were they coming to express love to the family? Yes, amen? Modern days, we have a baby shower, right? And some of these articles, myrrh, incense, and gold. Out of those three, I probably would go with the incense. Gold and myrrh are very expensive. I might, incense would probably be the cheaper side of it. But here's the thing. People that are gift givers, it doesn't matter the amount of money. They're not thinking. Have you ever received a gift and it kind of overwhelmed you? Seriously, have you ever been kind of knocked off yourself like, whoa, you did, I can't believe that. See, and you might think like, wow, this person, they did, but their process was different than what you're thinking their process is. You might think that, oh, well, they just did it. You know what? A lot of times these people that give gifts, they're just led by the Spirit of the Lord. Yes, they're led by the Spirit of the Lord. Yes. And the reason why their gifts hit the spot, and their gifts sometimes overwhelm people, and they really, because they were born with this blessing to be able to give, to be a blessing to other people. You need some givers in your life. You need some givers in your life. Amen? You got too many takers in your life. You need to identify and find some givers within your life. If you have givers in your life, you'll always be taken care of. Amen. I thank God for my generous friends. Yeah. Some of my generous friends, I remember they would come to when we were young and everything. I was young and full of pride. Brother, I know you got a family and stuff, and your wife is in school, and things. And see, I was getting put off by what they were saying at first. Like, me. Well, I just want to give you that. Find somebody you can give that to, bro. That ain't even me. I'm fine. And my kids and wife are looking at me, you know we're not fine. We're going to use that. Gift givers, a lot of times, who are the ones that are rejected most? The gift givers. You know why? Because people think they know what they're up to. Giving me all these gifts. You ain't going to buy me. You can't buy me. I'm not no slave. I'm not no commodity. You can't buy me. You give me all these gifts and see you talking at the mouth. And you don't know that that person they might be giving you because they don't know how, they don't express love verbally. They don't have the quality time to give you. But maybe, just maybe, that their way of expressing love is giving something to you. See, a lot of times parents will feel guilty. Like, well, I just gave the kid this, I didn't have to. No, but you know what? Maybe you raise a child that understands gift giving. Maybe you raise a child that their needs were provided for, and they'll go and they'll do that for someone else, right? A lot of times parents get put off like, I don't want to be no older parent. I want to be a parent when I'm young. But you know, when you're older and you're a parent, and all the young parents can say amen to this, when you're older and you're a parent, you got more money. Gotta do a little bit more with money. See, my kids, we were like 21 and 20, I think, when we had our kids. We were broke as a joke. We were poor. Now our kids see it a little different. They're like, man, you getting other kids stuff. You never got us that. Yeah, we didn't have no money then. So what happens when you got young parents? When you got young parents, we're all learning together. But see, giving gifts, that's something that, you know, the gift giver, what's the dark side of it? They can be the type of people that have something in it to where they feel like they can give you something and they can appease you with the gift. So that's the dark side of it. You know what the dark side of gift givers is? Sometimes gift givers can think that by the gift that they're giving, that it creates a stronger bond with the person. See, sometimes a giver might just be giving to a taker, and they'll never appreciate it. Am I right? Right. See, I'm trying to help somebody from enabling someone within their life. Stop wasting your money on giving things to get her back. That's not the way you're going to get her back. You might give all the gifts that you want to. No, I'm not taking you. No, I'm not taking your gift. And you find a man going into bankruptcy, trying to buy somebody back. You see what I'm saying? This is the wrong side of it. I'm not saying the proper align the Christian side of it. When someone's trying to do it to manipulate people, when someone's trying to pay hush money and pay something, pay for some type of behavior, that's never the right thing. That your gifts should not be used in that way. We use our gift giving ability. See, the proper alignment of the language of gift giving as far as love is, God, let me know if this gift can be a blessing. Amen. Let me know if this gift can do what you want it to do, Lord. See, the gift giver has to understand the right hand should not know what the left hand is doing. You see, I'm going to tell you, a negative side of this, you want to know what a negative gift giver is? They'll pull you out. And you'll be around your friends, and then they'll start telling everybody about what they did for you. Amen. Oh yeah, I always have to give them some. I give this fool gas money all the time. Right, fool? Like, I thought you was doing that because you was trying to help me. Right. But the misalignment of it. So you have to be careful. You have to be. There's a man we know. He had a guy work for him, and he worked for this man like 20 years ago. And every time he sees him, he's like, "Oh yeah, I used to pay you." Gee, well, I guess you weren't doing it unto the Lord then. Thanks, brother. See, people, they can do that. So you have to be careful, with that. Because it can, for every love language gift, that language can be spoken in the wrong way. Okay, so we're going to go to number 4. You ready for number 4? What's the love language? Acts of service. Everyone say acts of service. Acts of service. Jody Watley, what have you done for me lately? What have you done for me lately? A lot of times the acts of service, that the misaligned acts of service person will ask you that and they'll be serious. They're not singing the song. All that I'm doing for you. See, these acts of service people are people that will do stuff for you. Have you ever dealt with someone that you know, they would buy you something, or they would give you, or they would do something for you. Hey, I wouldn't clean. Hey, I raked your leaves up in your yard. Did that for you. Hey, I washed your clothes and I ironed them. I did that for you. Hey, I put air in your tire. I'm doing that for you. Hey, I wanted to make sure that do you have this, because if not, I want to help you with it. See, these are the people that are acts of service. How many of you feel like you're acts of service people? Raise your hand. Raise your hand high. Because I want to know who I can count on when you got your babies. See, because the acts of service people, see, if you have an acts of service person, they will do stuff for you that you don't want to do, or you're not aligned to be able to do. I don't know how to do all of that, but that person, that's what they're built for. They're built to do that. So what do? When you have an acts of service person that can do something, they're an expert in your life, you let them do it. If you love them and you want to keep them around, don't do this for me, because I can do that for myself. Okay, you're rejecting love. They're trying to tell you they can do it. You know, and then you say, well, I'm so busy, I don't know what to do. I know what you need to do. You need to find that acts of service person and treat them right. And ask them to do for you, because God is putting them in your life as a blessing. Acts of service. You know, you can have a child that's always doing it. Well, I don't want you. You need to go do that somewhere else. But maybe that child doesn't. Well, they haven't told me they love me in 10 years, but they're always trying to do stuff for me. Well, I got news for you. It hasn't been 10 years that they told you that they love you. They told you that they love you by what they're doing. Amen. How many of you got a parent that's acts of service? So you got a parent that's an acts of service, they will treat you like a child until you get gray hair on your head. Probably even after that. They will, you know, that's my, you know, and nothing cuter than a little old lady and her child. I have one of the members, is he here? Oh, is Brother Rick here? I'm going to talk about it. His mother is a sweet, elderly person. And she'll call, listen, I'm calling you from Kansas, and I want to know, y'all treating my son right? I said, yes, ma'am, we are. Yes, we are. Well, how is he doing? He's a blessing to us. Well, I haven't seen him. And you know what I do every time? I'd rather call your mom. Well, I will, like, no, call her now. Because sometimes but see, here's the thing. She just wants to take care of him. Brother Rick, me and Brother Rick are about the same age, right? We're well into our 40s. But the acts of service, when you have someone like that. See, if you have a spouse like this, acts of service, oh, they're going to do something. I mean, they're going to cook your favorite, they're going to cook it the way that you want it. If you want something done, oh, I know how she wants this done, so I have to do it this way. I just know how he likes it, so I do it this way. My wife that's another love language she's great at. She does, if I want something to start, she takes notes of it, and she does it exactly that way. Amen. Well, you know, how are you going to push someone like that away? That loves you enough to take notes, and it's just like, hey, I know that you like this way, so I'm going to do this way. And see, we do it the same. We share love that way to each other. You know, there's this thing that we're going through right now. We're doing this juice cleanse, right? Well, with the juice cleanse, it's something that it's for her. But also I can say, you know what though? I'm on it with you. Amen. I'm going to do it with you. Because, you know, as an act of service, I don't want her to be running this race all by herself. Like, we could do it together, and I could serve you in this. See, the people that are around you that want to do stuff with you, don't push them away. Mark 10:45. For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many. Amen. Acts of service. You know, I look at like, you know, someone in the church that's an acts of service person. Brother Eric. Eric's, you know, kind of imposing, taller figure, right? But you know, if you get to know this brother, he got a soft heart. Amen. And if there's something like, hey, could you help me with this? Could you fix this? Could you show me how to do this? You know how some people, like, if you ask them to do something, they'll be breathing, stomping their feet. I could ask him for help with anything. And you know, he's patient. Amen. A person that's just like, yeah, hey, I know a little something about this. Let me help you with this. that's a good friend, man, because that's a person who knows how to express love, and they're selfless with what they have. See, that's why I mess around with y'all a lot. I said I always try to get things by association. I am an uneducated man, but I have a lot of educated friends. Look, I'm getting a PhD by osmosis if I have to. I'm gonna get around people that just know stuff. So I use people like as a resource, people that know things. But see, if they know stuff and they're in acts of service, they will do stuff for you pro bono. They'll do stuff. Hey, look, let me do this for you. Let me check this out for you. The way I get to express acts of love, acts of service. Sometimes, like when people have, like, hey, I'm going to court. See, I could do that type of stuff in my sleep. Oh, I know how to talk to I know every room that's there. Now, that's like my act of service. Hey, let me do this for you. There's people that say, like, hey, Pastor, they're fixing to evict me, and they're doing this or that, or my landlord is trying to do this. I've been doing real estate for over 20 years. I do that in my sleep. So there's some like, okay, yeah, let me call these people for you. My friend that died, that we did the funeral for, he's blind, legally blind. And they were discriminating against him. And he was like, he called me. And see, even the people that have acts of service friends, they know the people that they need to get a hold of that can give whatever it is that they need done. He called me up. He was like, Martel, these people are doing it. And when he called, he's like, I know you'll get the job done. I know that they will listen to you. See, that's acts of service people. They're specialists in certain areas. You let them do it. You let them work with that. I had a relative that was going through a legal situation. And he was like, well, I'm just going with the public defender, and I just need to take care of this on my own. I was like, well, then, hey, have it your way. But I didn't go through and get all this experience for nothing. And I had a relative, I tried to get him a lawyer. I know a lawyer. I said, well, look, I'm going to go ahead and get this lawyer for you. And you know what they said? I don't want that type of lawyer. See, some of the acts of service people, you know what they'll do? I'm the type of acts of service person, I'm not going to argue with you. You deal with the public pretender, go ahead. That's on you. I'm trying to say that. Freudian slip. Defend me. You go ahead and deal if that's what you want. But here's the thing. I'm an expert with this. It's like with someone that's an expert at something, you say, well, my car is leaking this fluid. And the brother's like, hey, well, sister, you know what? Let me take a look at that. Oh, no, I'll take it down to AMCO. Well, AMCO, see you coming a mile away. They're going to charge you $300 to look at that. And the brother offered to do that. See, some people that are acts of service, they'll just walk away. Oh, okay. On to the next one. But see, this is the thing. It's like when people are offering to do stuff. Yes. Humble yourself. Amen. Okay. My sister, she knows how to do this. My brother, he knows how to do this. Amen. Galatians 6:10. Therefore, as we have opportunity, let us do good to all people, especially those who belong, who are the believers of the family of God. Amen. Amen. You acts of service people, you might feel like everybody's using me. Everyone's doing me wrong. Do something for the people of God. Because that way you know that you're doing it directly for God. Amen? Amen. Because I wasn't doing it for you. I was doing it as unto the Lord. Next one. Final that we're going to share with you today. And we're going to close with this one. Physical touch. Romans 16:16. Greet one another with a holy kiss. All the churches of Christ send greetings. Now, that was more cultural back then, right? But here's the thing. Is there anything wrong with the kiss? Yeah, a proper kiss. I've had people, and sometimes, like I said, I did that funeral yesterday. Well, the young man's father, he told me before he said, you know what? He asked on his deathbed for you to give his eulogy. I was like, wow, that's a blessing. And when I'm called on to serve that way, I didn't know maybe they thought that much of me to do that. But when the father was up there speaking at the service, he said, you're like a son to me. And whenever he would greet me, he'd give me a kiss on the cheek. It felt a little weird. He's got facial hair and stuff. I can't grow a beard to save my life. But here's the thing. Is it sometimes men they say stupid? Well, I don't want nobody to think anything. I don't care what you think. If it's my brother in Christ and he gives me a kiss, I'm too old for that. I don't care. You can think who I am, whatever I am. Because that person's trying to show me love. Some people, they just want to touch you, you ever, now, anybody here an admitted physical touch person? You're a physical touch person? Okay, a couple of you. So, and you said you was going to hug me today. Okay, come on. Physical touch. Now, physical touch. Now, there is proper physical touch. There's improper physical touch. You're going to know what that is. But, some of you that are physical touch people, have you ever been put off by somebody who's like trying to make something a physical touch that it's not? Like, you're going up like, hey, brother, man. They're like, ready to square up with you. And so all I'm trying to do is give you a hug. I didn't mean nothing by it. But see, that's the thing is people can have this gift of physical touch. And you can, because of past experiences, you can think everybody is a pervert, everybody is dirty. But I'm going to tell you, everybody is not a pervert. Everybody is not dirty. And sometimes some people, that's how they show you love. That's just how they show you love. I saw a young man, and he give my mom a kiss. I'm a little child. What you kissing my mom for? Boy. But that's how she's like a mom to him. Is there, I shouldn't feel jealous over that. I should be thankful that other people love my mother, in that way. So I look at like, let's kiss her. Kiss my mom. But that's the way that person expresses it. That's just the way that they are. So listen, how about you? Have you ever pushed your kids? Oh, stop kissing me. Stop. I remember when my kids were small, they would be, I hate this, but they would eat something. Hey, Dad, try some. Physical touch. They want to share the food. They wanted to literally share the food with me. But that's love. As a father, if your child comes up and kisses you, I don't want, boy, son, let's have a talk, because we don't want people to think you're his dad. And if there's perverted people that are out there thinking something ridiculous, well, then let them think ridiculous. I'm going to show love. I'd rather show physical touch. If that's the love language of someone, then someone have to walk away and feel like I have no connection with them, because every time I try to hug them, every time I try to get close to them, they push me away. So now, how do we accept physical touch? If the physical touch is non-aggressive, if there's no negative intention, bring it in. Sometimes with the kids, there's people who say like, oh, well, adults, you shouldn't be letting kids hug you because kids will tell us their, okay, and I hear that. I hear that, and I take that caution very seriously. But ever since me and my wife have been pastors here, see, some people don't know the reason why we opened this church was because kids we seen at 32nd Street in Van Buren trying to buy school supplies at a Circle K. So when kids show my wife and I love and they come up and they give us a hug, I'm not going to push them away. Oh, no, I don't want people to think, something's wrong with me. No. Because they're just little kids, and some of them, they want to come and, I look at like Ian. Sometimes you come up and give me, at first, this kid was like, you hardly even look me in the eye. But now he's, and one day he'll remember, like, man, remember me and my pastor, we were cool. We had one of the young men came and give a testimony the other week, a couple of weeks ago, Jordan. Yeah. He came and he gave his testimony. Wasn't that inspiring? Yeah. This young man, is going through something and is up here showing the courage to talk out what he's doing. But, I remember as a little kid, man, I love that kid. Why? Because that's the type of kid he was the type. But if I'm like, oh, you're a kid in the church and I don't want anybody to think anything. Well, I'm not going to be inappropriate. I'm not going to do something that's not right. But I look at like that when I see the kid, that's just an expression. And this world has perverted that. Well, don't touch, because if you do it in a healthy way. Anytime that we touch any of these kids, it's shoulders and above. You never see me up the shoulders and above. Love the kids. See, and that's to be able to express love. It's a beautiful thing. To be able to see kids express physical love towards one another. It's a good thing. It's a beautiful thing. You know, and it's a thing to where we shouldn't cut that off. You know, sometimes we see physical expressions of love. Oh, they just like to give me a kiss, or they like to give me a hug, or they like to do this. You know, here's my advice to you. Express that back to them.
Amen.
You know? It might not be your way to express love, but it might sure show a person that you do have love for them.
Amen.
Will you stand with me? Acts 20:37. They wept openly as they embraced Paul and kissed him. Luke 15:20. What did the father with the wayward son do? When he came back, did he say, oh, you know what? I don't want people thinking we're gay or nothing. No. He said, so he got up and went to his father, but while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. He ran to his son and threw his arms around him and kissed him. Amen. See, the world with all this macho stuff, they're perverting what real love is. They're trying to make you, oh, well, don't do that. Don't express that. You know, you got to stay strong. No. Sometimes it's okay for men to cry. It's okay when a father sees a son crying to not tell him, suck that up and dry your, don't be a man. No, sometimes things hurt.
That's right.
Sometimes things hurt, and sometimes you need somebody to say, hey, you know what? So I know it hurts. I'll make you no less of a man because you express emotions. Let's cut all that stuff out. Fathers, if you're still trying to purport this macho stuff, that's not love. You have a person that grows up and just faking and trying to be a certain way and can't be themselves because we've been so busy telling people that's not what a man does. That's not what a woman does. Let a person love the way that they're going to love. God will work it all out, right? The 5 love languages. There is a primary love language that you have. There's a secondary love language that you have. Some of you might just want to find out, like, hey, I want to find out my love language. Or I'm going to give this quiz to my so-and-so, and I want to find out what their love language is. If you want a copy of the love languages quiz, Sister Adeline has the copies for you right there at the front. So as you leave, you can get one of those copies. But in this 40 days of love, what are we trying to convey? We need more love. We need more love. On Wednesdays, what are we talking about? 40 days of love. We're reading the book, and we're learning some great things about love. Let's make this month all about love. And we just entered into a new month, new transition. Let's go into that transition with love. Here's your challenge this week. Identify your love language. Identify your love language. And then try and speak a different love language. So you identify which one. Wow, I am words of affirmation. Great. I'm just going to keep talking. No. I want you to buy a gift. I want you to spend quality time. I want you to do something that's different. See, so maybe your gift is like, wow, my gift is quality time. Yes. Okay. So now I want you to challenge yourself and use words of affirmation. So I want you to challenge yourself. Show love. See, if you got a big family, you know, every one of your kids have different love languages. See, a lot of times we want to throw the kid in the counselor's office, send them to Adobe Mountain, do anything, call the police, do anything. But you know what we need to do is like, well, maybe this child's love language is different. Maybe they have a different way of expressing love. Maybe I just have to work with this child. Maybe because see, as parents, that's what our goal is to nurture love to where you have a person that comes out of here that's healthy and knows how to love, and there's no misalignments with love. See, is there division in your house? Is there confusion in your life with someone? Maybe you just misunderstood the way that they were expressing love. Amen. See, maybe that. See, a lot of times we fall out with people like, oh, I hate them. I don't want nothing to do with them. Jesus didn't throw you away. Amen. Have you ever had a bad day? Have you ever said something stupid you didn't mean to say it? Come on, parents. Sometimes, look, I remember as a kid, I'd be so mad. You know what? In my house, you couldn't talk back. So what I would do is sometimes I'd go to that room, and I would slam that door as hard as I could. She's right. I do it. I said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. The window was open. I didn't mean to slam it like that. Misalignment of love. So just because we fell out don't mean that they're a bad person, or we can't come back together again. See, because this love breeds forgiveness. This love breeds understanding. This love says, hey, maybe we need to take a break, but maybe I can still love them while I'm taking a break. Maybe we just need to take a little time off, but I don't have to put them in the category of I hate them.
Right? Amen.
That's all I'm trying to show you. Is there's reasons to love and the reasons to keep loving and to grow in your love. Married couples, Brother Eric, when is marriage enrichment?
The third Sunday this month.
The third Sunday of March. What are we doing?
Bowling.
We're going bowling. So married couples, don't come out bowling with me. Non-married couples, show love. Let people know, hey, I love you. I'm concerned for you. And maybe my way of showing you love, I'll try a different approach. I'm going to try something different this time. See, the words of affirmation person, they might want to go and give a lecture. But you're talking to a person that needs quality time. So your lecture is going to go in one ear and out the other until you sit down and spend quality time with that person. All right, I said enough. May the Lord bless your people. May love spread within us. May we treat each other as familia. And may we grow closer together. In Jesus' mighty and wonderful name we pray. Amen.